Guys, we'll study about the carbohydrate chemistry. So what are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones, as you can see in the definition. So they are polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. They are the most abundant molecule present in our nature. It is mainly found in plants as well as the animals. We'll study about the classification of carbohydrates, usually ask for 5 marks. Carbohydrate is of 4 main types. It is classified into 4 types. Monosaccharides, which has one monomeric unit. Disaccharides are the one which consist of 2 monomeric unit. Polysaccharides are the one which consist of more than 10 monomeric unit. Oligosaccharides are the one which consist of 3 monomeric unit. First, we'll study about the monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are the simplest of all the carbohydrate derivatives. They cannot be further hydrolyzed into smaller units as they are made up of one monomeric unit. They cannot be further hydrolyzed into smaller unit. What is the formula? CnH2ON. If Cn is equal to 1, CH2O. So we'll see the classification of monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are classified based upon the function as well as based upon the number of carbon atoms. It is classified based upon the carbon atoms as well as functions. Based upon the functions, it is classified into aldoses, which are made up of aldehydes, as well as ketoses, which are made up of ketone bodies. Second one is based upon the number of carbon atoms. Trioses, which consist of 3 carbon atoms. Tetroses, which consist of 4 carbon atoms. Pentoses, which consist of 5 carbon atoms. 6 as well as 7 hexoses as well as heptoses. This was the general classification of monosaccharides. So we'll see its classification detailedly. Based upon the function, as I have said, it is classified into 2 types, that is aldoses as well as ketoses. These are the monosaccharides containing the aldehyde group, that is CHO. So if it consists of the CHO, it is called as aldoses. Example, it consists of glucose, galactose, riboses. Ketoses are the one which consist of their monosaccharides which consist of the ketone group, that is C double bond O. Example includes fructose, ribulose, etc. Based upon the number of carbons, as I have said, the name indicates trioses containing 3 carbon atom. Example, remember any one example, that is enough. Glyceraldehyde for trioses. Tetroses consist of 4 carbon atoms. Example, erythroses. Pentoses, the monosaccharides containing 5 carbon atoms. Riboses, ribuloses. Hexoses, 6 carbon atom. Fructose as well as glucose. You have to remember hexose example. Heptose are the molecules or the monosaccharides contain the 7 carbon atoms, that is aldoheptoses as well as pseudoheptuloses. So next we'll move on to disaccharides, oligosaccharides as well as polysaccharides. So as you can see, the disaccharides are the one which mainly link to each other by the glycosidic bond. They are made up of 2 monomeric units. Example includes sucrose. Sucrose is a combination of glucose as well as fructose. Maltose is a combination of glucose as well as plus glucose, 2 molecules of glucose. Lactose is a combination of glucose as well as galactose. We have studied this already in our 12th boards. Oligosaccharides are the one which are made up of 3 to 10 monomeric or monosaccharide units. Example, maltotrioses, which is made up of 3 monosaccharide units. Raffinoses as well as verbascopes. So the oligosaccharides are usually present in our cell membrane. Our blood group antigens are also example for the oligosaccharides. We'll further move on to polysaccharides. Poly means many, as we know from the definition. Poly means many. They are made up of many monomeric units, that is 10 monomeric units, and they are linked by glycosidic bond. It might be 10 or more than 10. And they are linked by glycosidic bond. So polysaccharides are of 2 types, that is subdivided into 2 types, homopolysaccharide as well as heteropolysaccharides. As the name homo indicates same, hetero indicates different. Homopolysaccharides are made up of only one type of monomeric unit. Example, starch, glycogen, cellulose, inulin, etc. Heteropolysaccharides are the one which are made up of more than one type of monomeric unit. Example, agar, GAG, glycosaminoglycans, heparin, keratin sulfate, etc. So this was the general classification of carbohydrate metabolism. We'll see this classification in a small diagrammatic chart. So they'll ask the classification usually for 5 marks. Carbohydrates, as I've said, they are classified into monosaccharides, disaccharides, oligosaccharides as well as polysaccharides. Monosaccharides, it is of two types, aldoses, ketoses. Aldoses example is glucose, galactose. Ketose example is fructose as well as ribulose. Disaccharides, which are made up of 2 monomeric unit, example is sucrose, maltose. Oligosaccharides, which are made up of 3 to 10 monomeric unit, maltotriose as well as raffinose. Polysaccharides are the one which are subclassified into two types, homopolysaccharide as well as heteropolysaccharides. Homopolysaccharides includes the starch as well as glycogen. Heteropolysaccharides includes the heparin as well as agar. So this was the general classification of carbohydrates. Now we'll further move on to function of the carbohydrates. So the function of carbohydrates, they'll ask for 5 marks. Write any 5 to 6 function, main function. So carbohydrates, as we know, it is the major source of energy. They are the major source of energy. Erythrocytes, which are found in blood and brain, are mainly needed glucose for the energy. We know glucose, carbohydrates, carbs, everything is very, very important for our body, especially our brain as well as blood. They need glucose for their energy utilization. It helps in energy utilization as well as storage of energy. Glycogen is energy storehouse in animals. Starch is energy storehouse in plants. It is also the structural component of the cell. They are components of the cell membrane. They have GAG as well as proteins. What is GAG? Glycosaminoglycans. So they act as matrix and have glycosaminoglycans as well as proteins in their structural component of cell membrane. So it also have some miscellaneous function. It helps in dietary fibers and cellulose. Cellulose is the one which helps in preventing the constipation as well as the cancer. It helps in preventing the cancer. Glucuronic acid also helps in detoxification. Next one, glucose helps in synthesis of fatty acids as well as amino acids. Inulin is the one which helps in kidney function test. Heparin, as the name indicates, we have studied this in blood chapter some 1000 times. So it acts as anticoagulant agent. Ribose as well as deoxyribose are main and important components of the nucleic acid. We have studied in DNA, RNA, deoxyribonucleic acid as well as ribonucleic acid. So this was about the function of carbohydrates. We'll study about the epimerism as well as anomerism. Epimerism is usually asked for 5 marks. Stereoisomers due to difference in the configuration around the single asymmetric carbon atom is called as epimerism. So everything is same, but there is single asymmetric carbon atom which is making them different. Everything is same, but one different thing is the asymmetric carbon atom. That is also one asymmetric carbon atom. Example includes the glucose as well as mannose are C2 epimers. What does this mean? So in glucose and mannose there is C2 carbon atom which is different. So they look in different compounds. Glucose as well as galactose are C4 epimers. In the C4 carbon atom, they have asymmetric configuration, stereoisomeric configuration. What is anomerism? Stereoisomerism due to difference in the configuration around the anomeric carbon atom. It is due to the ring formation. There will be ring formation in the solution. There will be orientation of the compounds of the carbon atom. You can see due to orientation there will be formation of two anomers. One is alpha anomer as well as beta anomer. So what happens in the sense, in alpha type is usually found 36%, beta type is usually found 63%. So in alpha type the hydrogen molecule is present above the plane, hydroxy molecule is found below the plane. In beta type hydrogen is found below the plane as well as OH, that is hydroxyl group, is found above the plane. That is the difference. These are the two anomers. They'll ask what are epimers or anomers, or the difference between the epimers as well as anomers. Explain the definition and also give the example. Next we'll move on to the mutarotation, which is one of the important topic. So what is mutarotation? Usually asked for 3 marks. The spontaneous change in the specific rotation of the optical isomers which are optically active compounds. You can see there is some change in the rotation of the optical isomers. They might be dextrorotatory or lavorotatory due to the existence of reducing sugar in alpha and beta anomeric form. I have said that time itself, in anomerism there are two anomeric form, alpha type as well as beta type. Alpha type is usually 36% and beta type is usually 63%. So there is existence of the reducing sugar in alpha and beta anomeric form. Example, D-glucose consists of two forms, two anomers. It is called as two anomers. One is alpha D-glucose as well as beta D-glucose. So mutarotation, why does this occur? It is due to the conversion of alpha D-glucose. So there might be rotation, lavo or dextro rotation. Since they have given it as D, there is dextrorotatory beta D-glucose or lavo D-glucose. There might be rotation from lavo-rotatory to dextrorotatory or dextrorotatory to lavo-rotatory, or there might be changing from alpha to beta position or beta to alpha position. Alpha D-glucose as well as beta D-glucose are interconvertible. They are interconvertible with each other. They will dissolve in water so that they can attain the proper equilibrium. Alpha D-glucopyranose, which consists of 36% of alpha type, which will become like when they'll get mixed with the beta D-glucopyranose, which is of 63%. When we both see, the ratios are may be different, 36% as well as 63%, but when you mix both and when they'll attain the equilibrium, you can see that the mixture will get their equilibrium state. There won't be like 36% or 63%, it will be like 50-50%. So this is due to the mutarotation. It might be like alpha is getting rotated to beta or beta is getting rotated to alpha. At one point, they both will attain the equilibrium. So that was about the mutarotation, which is usually asked for 3 marks. So we'll study about the sucrose. Sucrose is usually asked for 5 marks. Sucrose is also known as the table sugar or the common sugar, invert sugar as well as cane sugar. So these are the different names of sucrose. What is sucrose? As I have said that time, sucrose is combination of glucose as well as fructose. It is combination of glucose as well as fructose. You can see there is anomeric carbon of glucose and sucrose involved in the bond formation. These atoms are not free, they are attached. So there will be anomeric carbon atom. Sucrose is an example for non-reducing sugar. What are the sources of sucrose as we eat every day in our daily life? Honey, fruits, vegetables, sugarcane, intestinal enzyme, sucrase enzyme, all these are the example of sucrose. Sucrose, if you eat more, if you eat chocolate more, have you seen? So kids usually eat chocolate more, they get cavities, dental caries, sensitivity problem more. So if a person is eating more chocolate, sweets, sugar or any sweet items, he have the chances of getting the dental cavities or the caries more. So that's it was about the sucrose. We'll move on to the next topic. So the next topic is the Benedict's test, usually asked for 5 marks. So Benedict's test we have usually did in our lab sessions. So this is a test used to detect the presence of the reducing sugar, whether the compound is having reducing sugar or not, whether it is a reducing sugar compound or a non-reducing sugar compound. So what is the procedure? First you have to take 8 drops of reducing sugar, take 8 drops of reducing sugar, add 5 ml of Benedict solution to it, then boil it for 2 minutes. As you can see, the observation includes the black red precipitation when you add 8 drops of reducing sugar as well as 5 ml of the Benedict solution. After boiling, you can see there is black red precipitate. So what does this signify? It tells about the presence of the glucose, that is the reducing sugar in our urine. So in our urine there is presence of the reducing sugar, so it is in that color. If there was no color or there is no precipitate, black rust precipitate, then it would tell that the compound is non-reducing sugar. So that was about the Benedict's test. We'll move on to the polysaccharides. What are polysaccharides? They are made up of more than 10 monomeric unit or monosaccharide unit. So as I've said, polysaccharides consist of 2 classification, homopolysaccharides as well as heteropolysaccharides. Homopolysaccharides are the one which are made up of only one type of monomeric unit, whereas heteropolysaccharides are the one which are made up of different types of monomeric unit. So homopolysaccharide includes the example starch as well as glycogen. So in exam, the main important question is they'll ask the difference between starch as well as glycogen. Very important. So what is the difference between the starch as well as glycogen? So we'll jot down some difference between the starch as well as glycogen. So here's the difference between the starch as well as the glycogen. Starch is a plant storage homopolysaccharides. Glycogen is an animal storage homopolysaccharides. I've said in the previous pages. So what is the source of starch? We'll see particular one, then we'll move on to glycogen. Starch is a plant storage homopolysaccharide. Source includes the wheat, rice, potato, etc. Monomer includes the alpha glucose. What is its main importance? It is the dietary source of glucose for human beings. We eat plants. Plants consist of starch, wheat, rice, everything, whatever we eat, we get carbohydrates, we get starch in it. So what is its structure? It consists of two main compounds, amylose as well as amylopectin. Amylose is of 13 to 20%. It is a straight chain. They might ask the difference between amylose as well as amylopectin. So amylose is a straight chain, whereas amylopectin is a branch chain. So amylose does not consist of any branching. It consists of glycosidic bond at alpha 1,4. So whereas it consists of 60 to 600 glucose molecules. Here the glucose content is very high in amylose, whereas amylopectin is present 80 to 87% in the plants. So it is a branch chain, and glycosidic bond is present in two areas, whereas in amylose the glycosidic bond is present in only one area. Amylopectin, you can see the glycosidic bond is present in alpha 1,4 as well as alpha 1,6. So in alpha 1,4, same as the amylose, it has a straight bond, whereas in alpha 1,6 it is having branched bond. So what are the number of glucose molecule present in it? That is 24 to 30 glucose molecule is present. So we'll study about the glycogen. Glycogen is a amino animal storage homopolysaccharide. Source, it includes the animals, the chicken, the fish and the seafood, all those stuff, the fungi, small granules, etc. So what are its monomers? Its monomers is alpha glucose. Its importance, it is stored in our liver as well as muscle. In liver, it helps in these 2 points is very important. In liver, it mainly helps in blood glucose homeostasis, as well as in muscle it helps in prolonged contraction. So what is the structure? It consists of branched structure, same as the amylopectin. It has the same structure as amylopectin, but what is the difference in glycogen? It is highly branched. So the main thing that is differentiating the amylopectin as well as the glycogen is it is heavily branched. So it has branched in alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage, which is the straight bond, as well as alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage, which is the branched bond. Similar to amylopectin, but it is highly branched. That is, it consists of the 11 to 14 glucose molecules. Further, we'll move on to heteropolysaccharides as well as the mucopolysaccharides. So what are heteropolysaccharides? As I have said that time, so they are made up of more than one monomeric unit. It includes the glucose, xylose, galactose, mannose, etc. So example, it includes the agar glycosaminoglycans. Agarose is obtained from the galactose anhydrase supporting matrix in the electrophoresis. Mucopolysaccharides, GAG, which is usually asked for 5 marks. So they are made up of amino sugars as well as uronic acid. They might be attached to the protein molecules and form proteoglycans. So GAG is glucosaminoglycans. They also might form proteoglycans. The structure, what is its structure? They are made up of repeated disaccharides unit, except the hyaluronic acid, which consists of the acetyl group, except that all have the sulfate group. What are its properties? We'll see some 2 to 3 properties. They are polyanionic in nature. What does polyanionic mean? They are large in number of carboxyl as well as sulfate group. They have lot of number of anions present in it. Their cationic capacity is very high. They have high water capacity. Thus they form the viscous solution. This was some properties of the monopolysaccharides. Now we look after the significance of mucopolysaccharides. It mainly acts as the shock absorber. It gives the lubricant effect, smoothing effect. It acts as anticoagulant. Example, heparin, we know the vitamin K, everything. It plays a very important role in anticoagulation. It prevents the bacterial attack. Example, the hyaluronic acid, which is present in our synovial fluid of joints. and also in the vitreous humor of our eye. So example, hyaluronic acid, chondrion sulfate, keratin sulfate, dermatin sulfate, heparin, as well as heparin sulfate. All these are the example. So remember one point, chondroitin sulfate is the one which is the most abundant in our body and compressible in weight bearing capacity. So wherever we have weight bearing capacity, this chondroitin sulfate are compressible in that area. So what is the composition of these things? So glycosaminoglycans composition occurrence, we'll see some 2 to 3 examples. So hyaluronic acid, its composition is D-glucuronic acid as well as N-acetylglucosamine. NAC, it is occur in our vitreous humor, synovial fluid, cartilage as well as skin. These are some example. Chondroitin sulfate is usually asked for 3 marks. What is its composition? D-glucuronic acid, same, as well as here it's glucosamine, whereas here it is galactosamine. N-acetyl galactosamine, it is found in chondroitin sulfate. Remember it as cartilage, cornea, any one is fine. Chondroitin sulfate, it includes cartilage as well as cornea and skin. Some other glycosaminoglycans will see. The dermatin sulfate, the composition includes the N-acetyl galactosamine, same as the chondroitin sulfate, as well as the alpha iduronic acid, skin, heart valves as well as tendons. It is present in these areas. Keratin sulfates, it includes the D-galactosidase as well as N-acetylglucosamines. N-acetylglucosamine is most common and usually found in almost all the glycosaminoglycans. So keratin sulfate is usually found in 3C. Keratin is also called as 3C, that is cornea, cartilage as well as connective tissue. Heparin, which is the anticoagulant agent, the composition includes the alpha iduronic acid as well as D-glucosamine as well as D-glucuronic acid. They are usually found in mast cells, lungs, liver, spleen. Heparin sulfate composition includes the D-glucosamines, D-glucuronic acid as well as alpha iduronic acid. So it occurs in the lung, liver and kidney. I know it's quite difficult to remember all the composition of these glycosaminoglycans, but at least remember any 2 of them, like the chondroitin sulfate as well as the keratin sulfate or the heparin. Any 2 of them you have to remember, because they'll ask this composition for 3 marks. And even the occurrence, if you study any one example, that is fine. Like the chondroitin sulfate, like the chondroitin starts from C, so the example includes the cartilage and cornea. And keratin sulfate, it has 3C examples, that is cornea, cartilage, connective tissue. So remember like this. So composition you have to remember. So that's it about this carbohydrate chemistry video. So hope you like this video. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.